Alright, I got my new spring, so let's see if we can fish this old one out of here and properly bubba this, governor this go round. Alright, old spring is out, and you have to take that plate off it, and I gotta bitch about something for 1 second. So these fucking spacers right here that set your height, that one and that one, they're not captive, they're not welded to anything, they're not affixed in any way, shape, or form. So you can just go boop and knock one directly down into all of that, which is now gone forever. So I'm gonna have to, I think hopefully I can just take 2 1/4-inch nuts and just use that as a spacer, but I digress. This is off. That's where she snapped. Let me see if I can get the new throttle in there, as well as my new and improved governor bypass doohickey, and we'll see what the hell happens. Alright, so I didn't really learn my lesson, so I kind of just jammed that back on there exactly how it was, but now I don't have a rusty spring. And I also put this hook through there, just so that it bottoms out a little bit sooner. And we'll just run that until it breaks. I had to buy a 2-pack of these, so I got a spare. So if I fuck it up again, we just won't. But anyway, well, never mind. Always fucking something. I left the key on the other day because I was in a fucking hurry because the dog dug out and I had to go try and run her down. And just left the fucking key on, so the battery's got 2 volts, so great. I get to pull that fucker out of there and charge that up overnight. Awesome. Charging batteries, story of my life. Alright. Looks like the battery survived another day. Alright, so I left the battery on charge for a couple days. It's busy around these parts right now. And speaking of busy, I'm gonna need this thing here in a couple weeks. We're doing a big fall spring cleanup here in the town, and I want to use this sucker to go pick up trash on the side of the road next. Actually, this Saturday. Fuck, it's like 2 days from now. God, time flies. So it's cold out now. I've got the flannel on, so this sucker does not want to start reliably now that it's chilly out without a choke. So I'll be damned if I'm not about to put the old carburetor back in here while I, figure out when the hell I'm going to have the time to figure out how to make a choke for this thing. I think with a little bit more elbow grease, a little bit more actual grease, I might be able to get that old choke to free up a little bit, because one of the big problems is that the throttle is just really fucking sticky. I might be able to drill those throttle screws out, get the plate off, pull the shaft out, polish the shaft, and put it back in, and maybe get the throttle to clean up a little bit. We'll see. And then I might be able to make some sort of way to tune it. But I mean, I already had it pretty well tuned. I think I'll just need to monkey with the actual throttle arm like I had before, and we'll see if it plays nice with this governor thing I've got on there. But that's currently where my brain space is. So I think I can give it the old college try again and maybe get the old carburetor to work. Because I kind of just don't feel like fooling with this Chinese one, if I'm being honest. So anyway, I'm going to put that back in, and then I'm going to work on trying to clean up the old carburetor, and then we're going to get it back in this thing, and see if we can make it work, see if we can make do. Alright, so ignore the weed eater. Despite what you may think, I don't film everything I work on, just 95% of what I work on. But anywho, so here's the old carburetor, and the choke blade was rattling, so I've just tightened that down. It's not going to come off, it's still staked, but what I'm trying to do right now is get these bolts out for the throttle, because the throttle is sticky. It takes a fair bit of force to open all the way and to close. So I would like to get that out and polish it up, get it back in there, get it lubed up, and just get it moving free. So if I can get these 2 screws out of there, I can pop that plate out, and I can pull that guy out of the top. And it should be all good. I don't think there are any bushings. Yeah, it's just metal on metal. So it should be all we need. Just a little bit of honing, and we should be good to go on that front. The other thing is all the wings are broken off of the adjustment here for the actual idle speed. So I'm going to try and cut a very fine slot in it with this hacksaw. I don't want to go too deep because this spring that keeps this thing from backing out is just about to run out of there, and I've been kind of mangling it with one of these. So we shall see. We might have to get a replacement one of those. Might even steal it off the Chinese carburetor, but I'm going to see if I can just put a slot in it so that we can make adjustments without having to, gorilla on the damn thing. But we'll see. That should hopefully be all we need to get this thing back in the John Deere, and we'll be able to tune it from that point and see if we can get it running okay-ish. All right, so with a little bit of movie magic, I have gotten the choke to not vibrate anymore, and I have gotten the throttle to move super free. I was able to wiggle it out far enough. It turns out the reason why it was sticking, is because when I had to drive on that thing to get it to move, I had actually bent the throttle shaft. So it was actually the torsion of that shaft that was causing it. So I just jammed a screwdriver behind there and just bent the actual shaft because it was like this before, or it was like that before. Just bent it back out like that. I took both screws off too and everything and reset everything. It's all fine. Took the hacksaw, cut a slot in there. I can turn it with a needle nose plier. And I'm going to take the bowl off real quick because I saw a shit ton of sediment fall out of there when I took that screw off. And we'll see just what kind of horrid nightmare is inside of here. All right, so here's the inside of the bowl, and there is, in fact, a noticeable amount of smuts in there, so I'm just going to wipe that out real quick. But other than that, nothing else weird. So, I mean, it does look pretty corrody in there, but that orifice is open, so I'm not worried about it. And, of course, there's always this guy right here that I'm worried whether or not that's going to seal, but we'll just put it right back where it was and ignore it and hope for the best. All right, so with only a mild amount of fighting, we have the old carburetor back in, choke is hooked up and everything, and battery's hooked back up. I am not liking how this throttle is sitting. It's really sitting far out, and it doesn't matter how I adjust this, it's just always sitting far out. Other than pulling this, governor limiter out of that hole, it doesn't tone it down. Doesn't matter if I move this spring any further down, it just makes it worse. So other than like clocking the governor, I don't know how to make that stop. Bending this, I guess. I didn't do jack. So I don't really know what that's about. But I guess we'll find out. Could just been the throttle sticking. We'll just go with that. So anyway, that's all hooked up. Guess all I can really do is come over here, pull the choke, fire her up, and see if she goes as is without any tuning. And if she doesn't crank, then we'll fuck with it a little bit, but should pop off regardless. But the choke is working. Well, see if she just touches off. Well, it's gonna take a second to prime, but bear with me. There she goes, like a dream. Needs a lot of choke at the moment. Yeah, she needs a little bit of half choke. It's about 55, 58 degrees out, something, so we'll let her warm up a bit, but if we're lucky, we have some throttle. Oh, throttle's hitting the choke right now. And she's surging a bit. Anyway, I'll let her warm up. All right, so currently what I've done is I've adjusted the idle screw. I think it'll prove me wrong now, but I should be able to hold this down without the engine dying. Well, almost. It really wants to die, but if I don't push it too hard, it doesn't die. And I've got the mixture screw bottomed it out and then backed it out 1.75 turns. Could probably do with another quarter turn, I think. So that's 2 turns. Can't quite kill it. I'm gonna call that good, and I'm gonna go take her for a test trip. But throttle responsiveness seems to be good. So I'm gonna call that good as far as the high speed goes, but we'll see whether or not it's idling low enough for me to shift gears. It still sounds like it's gonna grind, if you ask me. Oh yeah, she's a grinder. So fuck. I don't know how to get it to idle any lower. If I lower it down anymore, it just dies. So oofda. All right, so we're just out here in the road, and she's to the point now where I can shift her and shouldn't grind, and she's got some off the tour. And if I slam on the brakes and gear, as long as I don't bottom it out, it don't die. And you know, I'm sitting here with the brake on, with it in gear, and sorry, finger in the frame. I think that's gonna be good enough. So anyway, I'm gonna whip around back and go work on a generator, and then go to bed. But we might even be able to use this for the town trash pickup this weekend. I'll be the talk of the road. All right, well, that feels like a job well done. Famous last words, I know. But old carb's back on. She's running better than she ever has now. It seems like after I, fix the problems with the carburetor works better. So anyway, this is just another, example of never throw out the old carb and never trust a Chinese carb. So 9 times out of 10, it's better to rebuild what's on there. Even this is a perfect example. I mean, that thing was such a hot pile of garbage, and it's still running better than the Chinese carb. But anywho, she's ready to go for the town litter pickup. So I think the only things I've really got left, as long as this carb stays running good, I'm not going to fool with that whole, bolt-on choke thing. I might flip-flop that guy back around. I really wish I would have made, this thing needs to be about this much longer or that much shorter, because this sucker right here smacks right into the head of the trailer ball. So the ball either needs to be back here so that, it's behind the pivot point, because there's a drop down right here of about that much. So that's what's hitting. I'm thinking about maybe pulling this sucker off and smooshing this back a little bit more and drilling another hole. And then I can just have 2 holes here, because this, that'll clear, so I can actually leave that there. But as long as I can squish this back a bit more. I don't know if I'll be able to do that. That's quite a pinch, but we shall see. I could also lower it, but I'm not doing that because I'm lazy. Anyway, and we gotta work on getting a new one of these, because this sucker don't pivot no more. But it's low on the totem pole right now. But we'll get around to that sooner. No, later. You ever just look down in your yard and just, pick up a piece of Native American pottery? I do. Quite a lot, actually. I hope my house isn't built on an ancient Indian burial ground, but it very, very, very well might be. Anyway, the big spring fall cleanup was actually in town, so I didn't get to use the Gator on it. But the sheriff and the senator were there, which was weird. But anyway, I digress. I did go cut up a couple logs that have been on the side of the road that DOT flagged 8 months ago. They sent a crew of 2 guys out in a truck to go spray paint logs on the side of the road, and then they haven't been back in the last 8 months to cut up said logs on the side of the road. I don't know why they didn't just send a truck with 2 guys and a chainsaw 8 months ago, but I digress. That's government for you. So anyway, I went and cut those up because I was fucking sick of looking at them, and Gator is running great. Still idling high. It's back to how it was, but I can just pull the choke out real quick, and I definitely have the tune much better than I did before, because it does not want to die like it did previously. I don't know what else to say. It's good. It's nice to have this thing back being a little bit reliable. Didn't have it that way for very long. So it's just this tailgate now. So we'll go crank on that plywood and chunks of aluminum and see if we can get something greasy going. One other thing. I have never tried to adjust this damn seat, and good lord, my fucking knees hit the dash. I ain't got much room, and there's only like that much more room, but I'm gonna just see if these bolts will come out. And let me slide it back. I distinctly feel that they will not, nor will they ever, but man's gotta try. Well, that ain't happening, which is to be expected. I guess I can grind them off and try and put some new ones in or something. I don't know, but didn't really have much play to work with here, but we'll add that to the list. Well, after much drinking, followed by a moderate amount of hammering and cussing, we have got this thing to, oh, it's just moved back, huh? Well, anyway, it's loose enough now that it moves, sort of. Beat on this thing with a hammer a good bit, and there we are. We're now backed up to this thing, and call that good to go. May or may not have torn the seat, a lot. But nothing a little bit more Gorilla Tape can't fix. I sure as hell ain't paying $120 for a goddamn seat. And yeah, I now have slightly more knee room than I did before. Not a lot, but slightly more. Look at that. Put a hand in between there until I slide back, and then it's on the fucking dash again. But yeah, these John Deeres are built for people who are like 5'6". But anyway, we have a little bit more leg room, and the seat is now markedly more loose, but better than nothing. You ever wrap up work on a Sunday with a cooler full of beer and a box of beer, but your beer fridge is already full? Normally I would say me neither, but you know, there's a first time for everything. Non-profit life, I guess. But oh, expect some more videos to come, or none at all, because I'll be in a coma. So let me just grab a Boomer White Claw here. Oh, well, it's 8:30. I gotta be at work at 9. Guess we'll start on number 5. And I got all these fucking bougie pumpkins and a bunch of ham bones for the dogs. So we got that going on. All right, so I'm just out here drinking beer, picking up logs, and she is a bouncy bitch. So I'm gonna look in to see if I can get some new shocks for this son of a bitch. Last time I looked, they were like $150 a piece, which is a no-go. But she does a lot of this when going above 15 miles an hour. So I'm gonna put that on shocks. And maybe we can find something equivalent for like 30 bucks a piece. Like a, you know, automotive shock. But anyway, we'll see. She bouncy. My son.
Would you like some leaves so you can tell what it is?
No. It's, I gotta keep them guessing. My boy. Come to me.
These are nice ones here.
Yes.
Wow.
The potate.
I think that was the mother. That's the mother show. Oh my God.
Ooh wee. That's the basketball I planted. It did not decrease in volume. All right, so I've begun work on the new tailgate. So these are 2 pieces of 9-ish inch by 4 foot treated. I believe this is. I think it's nominally 3/4. But anywho, I have just schmooed what little bit of this. What brand this was. Anyway, it's construction adhesive. It was almost gone, so it was kind of just like Play-Doh, smearing it on there. Don't know how much shtick it's got left in it, but it's probably better than nothing. And then I've just clamped the whole thing down with 1 1/4 inch deck screws, and at some point I will add 3 bolts to it. Nothing crazy, just a 2-inch, you know, through bolt, probably 4 of them all the way along. Just as added assurance, with washers on. I think I've got stainless steel ones lying around somewhere. Hold that thought. I don't know where I put them, but I got some 1/4 inch stainless steel bolts lying around from the last boat transom I put together. So we'll find some of those and put those through there. But next, I gotta go inside and find my schematics because we have to bend up the remainder of this road sign that I have into wings for either side, because this 4-footer is not wide enough. I need the whole thing needs to be about 51, 52 inches overall. So I need to hack this guy in half and then pretty much fold one side over like that. And then that'll bolt to, I think, the outside of this. And I'll have this wing, probably about a wing about that long on either side that comes all the way around. And that'll be what actually interfaces and latches and bolts and mounts and pivots on the actual tailgate. And then so this will kind of be, you know, the bracket that's on either side, and this is just going to be a shelf that runs across it. And if I really want to extra reinforce it, I can grab a piece of, you know, flat stock steel, go find a, you know, a 4-foot piece, something like this. I think this, you know, this is only about 2.5, something like that. Just drill some holes in it and have that on the back, piece of angle iron, something, just to reinforce it. But I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. I don't have anything lying around, I don't think, but I'll check the metal bin. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. So we won't have to worry about stuff blowing out or chipping or busting or anything because it'll all be interfacing with the metal. And then this will have 2 bolts, at least 2, maybe 3 or 4 bolts holding this onto the actual piece of plywood. And then that will hopefully have its own metal reinforcement on the back. So this is pretty much just filler, and then this will actually be doing all the heavy lifting and geometry and stuff. So I'm going to look at stuff and measure it up real quick. I mean, it's... Well, to be blunt, I just need to cut this thing in half, and this, of course, will be one of the mounting ones. It's already got pre-drilled holes. And yeah, so ain't gonna be fancy. Additionally, I realized that this thing had like solid steel, like just little wire, actual drop doohickey guys that were how this was, the tailgate was actually latching. It was, I think it was $12 for a set of the 2 of them. I'm not doing a good job of describing it, but rather than having chains or cables or anything, this had basically a metal wire latch with like a little turn handle on it. And so you put tailgate up and turn the latch and have a locked tailgate, and then you pull it out, and then it would have a stop. And so that would act as your stop. So it was just kind of floating through the holes on the back of the Gator. And I don't have the original mounting things, but I'm going to try and figure out how to make that work with my jury-rigged tailgate here and with the actual back of the Gator. So we'll have the proper factory doohickey latches, jobber guys on the side of it at the very least. So, and just like that, we've got all the subcomponents made. So here's what I did for the brackets. This was about a 17 and some change piece of 1/8 inch aluminum street sign that I had left over. I cut it in roughly half, so I had 2 8.5 inch sections, folded it at a 2.5 inch seam here, and then I have marked 1 3/8 out because that'll give me exactly a 51 inch total width, and we'll hammer it, to fit, hammer it, shave it, bend it to fit, just so that everything clearances correctly, because these may be like this or so. So 51 inches, it'll be bang on exact, and we'll fit it as need be. But this is a 9 inch by 48 inch board down here. And I think I'm going to pretty much do it exactly in this orientation. So these will be underneath. And I just drilled out, I think these are 5/32 holes, doesn't matter, all the way in here. And I'm just going to mock this up with 1 5/8 deck screws real quick. And I've drilled out 7/16 holes up here. I got some 3/8 stainless steel bolts. And so that'll hold it on either side. I already checked. This does actually rotate and clear, so we're not going to have to bevel that or anything. Probably I'm going to nip the corner off of this just so I don't stab myself on it. Might just bend it over. I don't know. I won't touch it till we have the bendy metal doohickey handled twisty locker jobber guys stops. We'll just call them stops until I have the stops in. But I think we are good to set this down on it and just put some deck screws on it and just see if it fits on the back of the Gator. All right, so there she is all mocked up, and it appears that I need to raise the wood up. So it doesn't come all the way down because the wood's hitting down there along that seam. So ideally I need the wood to come up about, looks like it's probably going to need to come up about 1 inch. Maybe so. There's some trigonometry in there I don't feel like doing. 3 drinks deep at 8:30 on a Thanksgiving. But anyway, there she is. I still gotta trim the rest of these bolts here. Actually, these hasps are probably gonna come off, but I'm leaving them for there. I trimmed these flush, but I couldn't get close enough on these with the chain on there, so I'll just come back with the angle grinder and snip those flush, and that'll fix that. But wood's hitting down here, so it looks like this needs to come up. Additionally, I didn't quite get it exactly how I wanted. That side's good, but this side came a little fat, I think. So I need to scooch, give myself about maybe another 1/16 of an inch, maybe an 1/8 inch more wiggle room, just on the mounting. But other than that, it looks pretty good. So board needs to come up and just go in just a skosh. All right, well, there that is. It's still a bit tight, but it's good enough. If I push on it, it actually levels out right where I want it. So nothing, just a quick pass with the router won't fix on that inner edge, so I might just do that right now. So yeah, that's looking pretty decent. Still need to trim these guys, and I'll need to probably, take these corners off the tip over here, and just kind of peel these in just a little bit, but that should be pretty damn good. I got a couple lock nuts to go on there. So yeah, I'm gonna make those small revisions real quick. Run the router down here and just put about a 3/8 bevel on that inner lip, and cut about probably a 1/2 inch deep corner off of either tip, and take the angle grinder and trim that up, and she should be good to go. Let me do that now. And just like that, I've beveled the corners as mostly not as stabby as I can get them. And let's see, trim those bolts, and went down in here and just put a 3/8 bevel on here, and it actually sits perfect, like just a little bit above level, which is what I want. It is sitting on the wood all the way down, and it's actually sitting on the metal right here as well, so I could not have asked for a better fit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this off, and I am systematically going to drill out the holes in here and replace them with bolts. So say like that, I'll pull out, probably not going to do this one. Yeah, I'm not going to do this bottom one, but I'll do all 4 of these if I have enough bolts. But I'll just basically take this, drill it out, put a bolt in, and then, you know, back this out, drill it out, put a bolt in, and just do all these so that I don't mess up any of my ligament. Those suckers should be good. I don't know if that factory latch thing is going to work, because I'm pretty certain it has to have something up here that it latches into, but I may be wrong. We shall see. We'll get them in and we'll see what we can do. If anything, I can just mount a bracket in here. You know, it ain't rocket surgery, but I got drain holes. You know, ain't going to be the best for, you know, hauling dirt around, because on account of all the dirt falling out, but I can always just take a 2x4 and mount that right in here so that it sits flush, but then when it comes down, you know, 2x4's, you know, out here out of the way, you know, something like that, you know, it can be adjusted. And there we go, nice and bolted up, so that shouldn't go anywhere. Now, let's slap her on there and see if we can work out some sort of temporary, you know, latch system for this thing, because, I don't know when them little, well, whatever the hell I said they were called, latch stopper, doohickey, jobber, twisty boys, are going to show up. I think they're going to show up right after I'm out of time off. So I can find something in the interim and hook that up on there. Probably just going to be some chain, or, you know, I might just drill a hole and have something for cotter pins or something. I ain't gonna put too much brain power into it, because it's probably just gonna be undone. So anyway, I'll figure that out real quick and mount this sucker back up in the Gator. Well, I just went ahead and did a quick little mod. So drilled a hole through here, rebent these latches, and I've just got these spring-loaded cotter pin doohickey jobber shackles on here. Had to file a little relief cut down in there just to get the height right, but that's a thoroughly functional tailgate. I'm thinking about putting something in there just to catch dirt, but probably need to work out something I can drop in. Honestly, should have just done that for the tailgate, but I like having the swing gate, so it's pretty simple. Just plop these suckers into here, and come on, get out of the way now. Which comes down, and eventually we'll figure out the factory things, as long as they work, and if not, we'll put the chains back on there. But that should be a pretty good tailgate. So, all right, so it's been a week or two, but these things finally showed up from whatever corner of China they were coming from. So now I have the displeasure of trying to figure out how the hell to reverse engineer this. I am assuming it's something to do with something like that. Something. Anyway, I gotta figure this son of a bitch out. And I also bought some spray paint. So we'll spray paint the tailgate and get it to look just a little bit nice like. And then I'll spray paint anything else on here that I feel like should probably be green. But I don't even know if this shit's gonna work, because I don't even know if I have enough, like, length on the actual tailgate brackets I have on the side. So I may have to bastardize something on there. So we'll see. I may just stick with those things. All right, so after doing some Googling, these guys won't fucking work at all. So I totally misplaced how this thing is supposed to work. I thought it was something that came up through here and then locked into these, but actually it's supposed to sit in the tailgate like this and then come over here and then lock into this thing, or some way, shape, and form. It's supposed to be on the tailgate, suffice it to say, so I might still be able to make this work, but it's supposed to come around like this and lock in there, and then it locks into the tailgate. So, yeah. Not really certain how we're going to get this to work. At least that's how it's supposed to be on the 1998. It appears that these do, in fact, work the way I thought they did on the, newer John Deere Gators, but, you look up the SKU on these things, and it's the same for both of them, so I ordered them up, and it looks like they may have kept this part the same and then just flip-flopped how it works or something, but I'll figure it out. Okay, so after a little bit more thinking, I figured out how it's actually supposed to work. So this guy is here, and you have the tailgate, and when the tailgate comes down, there is actually kind of a 45-degree hole right about here that just rides on this, and so as the tailgate goes down, this slides down like that, and then that holds the tailgate, as a stop. And then as you lift the tailgate up, this slides back along here, and this comes up, and then you just kind of pick this. See, the thing is, it doesn't turn. There's no way to turn this thing. I guess you could. So that's what I'm wondering, is this doesn't really lock. So you just have to kind of lift this thing up here and just hope it locks. So that's what's confusing me, is how this lock works, because this is how it's shown in the photos I looked at, unless this thing's supposed to be fucking up. So no, that's how it's supposed to be, because there's supposed to be a channel in the tailgate that runs this way with a hole on it like this, and that's what this hooks up into. This would be really nice if I had the tailgate. Too bad I don't. So this may be a complete waste of time. I may need to go back to the chain. We shall see, but so I'll still need to probably rely upon those locks. So I could still probably use this just as a stop, but I don't think there's going to be any way I can latch that, because it's like how I think you just kind of push it in and then it just kind of locks, but there's nothing to really stop it from coming out. Anyway, I do some more Googling, but shit may not work. All right, so it's raining out today, which means that rather than painting this outside, I've done something absolutely unprecedented in this channel. I sanded it, and then I smoothed it down. So we actually have a primed surface ready to be painted. That's never going to happen again. But I think I'm just gonna spray a little bit of this Farm and Implement, aka John Deere Green, that I got from Home Depot, just on here, and just spray in the middle so I don't get a bunch of overspray anywhere. And see how it looks, see whether or not I need to do 1 coat or 2 coat or what, but just play around with this a little bit, and then hopefully tomorrow get the whole rest of it done. Well, I said to hell with it. As soon as I started spraying, I just said, I'll just do the whole fucking thing. So I only got a little bit of green on the floor, nothing a little bit of motor oil and sand won't fix. But yeah, did both sides. So she's a green one now. Not really certain how well that's going to match, but I'm hoping that, they at least attempted to make it look John Deere green. There's the other side. I'm going to hit it with another blast real quick. Some of these spots on the side are just not sucking up paint. So I think I'll do 2 coats on both sides and just let this sit overnight and see how the hell it looks. All right. That's a whole damn can. So hopefully that might just be enough and I can save the other can for something else. But at the very least, I got to touch up this bottom that I couldn't get to. So might just let it dry for a little bit and do a little flip-flop real quick and hit it with the other can, or just wait till tomorrow. I don't know. Okie dokie, it's the next morning, so paint dried up well. It looks fairly decent. I'm going to hit it with 1 more coat of paint and just let it dry out here in the sun today. And then it should be ready to pop on here by the end of the day. And with any luck, that'll be the end of it. I'll just have to add the chain stops, and that should be a new tailgate. Alrighty, well, with just a little bit of retrofit work, got the chain on there, and just need to torque these things down, and they should be good and solid. But I can put my whole weight on there, and it feels all right. Still not gonna, lean an engine block on there unless I can get like a metal bar to go across the top or bottom to reinforce it. But it's pretty dang good. And other than jamming up on the chains a little bit, she locks in pretty good without any fuss. And put the pins on her, lock her in place. And that should be all I got to worry about with this sucker. And with that, I think we're done with the Gator work. That's everything on my short list for the Gator. Other than maybe doing something about that seat, I think it needs the bondage treatment as well. But all we really got to do now is stress test it. And I know just the perfect massive log that's been lying in the yard that I have to look at every single day for the last 7 years that we can do some work on. Because I feel like cutting some wood, and I'm about to have some time off, and it's about to be cold, so it's about to be wood splitting season. So let me go look at this big old honking tree, and we'll see if we can cut it up, haul it around, dump it in the woods, and make a bonfire out of it, and whether or not the Gator survives to tell the tale of, well, hauling way too much wood. Ah, damn, just look at that seat. Ugh, God. I gotta do something about that. Pothole. So anyway, this big honking Darlington oak came down during Hurricane Matthew, which was 2016, and it's 2023 now. And I did what I could to help my cousin out cutting this thing up, but that was back before I really knew how to use a chainsaw. I had a much smaller chainsaw. Now I'm a little bit friskier with a much better chainsaw. So I think I can actually make something happen to this. But you know, this is a 7-year-old tree that I see every single day, and it's good firewood. It's probably rotten, you know, beyond use now. But I think this winter is the winter that me and my cousin are finally sick of looking at this thing, and we're going to do something about it. So I'm going to cut up as much as I can to try and see how much firewood I can get out of this thing. And anything that's punky, I'm just going to dump in the marsh. And maybe, if I can't quite get through all of this, we might come up in here with the drill and some big old drill bits and just drill some holes up here in the top of this and backfill those with diesel and just set this thing off like a big old Christmas candle, big old Advent candle. And this is what I'm going to use to stress test Gator, and we'll figure out just how much wood it can move. We shall see. And I'll probably break the chainsaw, and I've been looking for an excuse to get a bigger chainsaw with a little bit bigger of a bar. So maybe, just maybe, that'll be my Christmas present to me out of my own bank account. Great. But real quick, before we do the stress test, I've actually decided that there are 2 things that I still need to fix on this stupid thing. And that is, I'm going to fix this seat just because it's starting to bother me now. So I've got some spray insulation and I might try under there, but I think I'm probably just going to jam a piece of foam underneath the butt in the back right here, and then we're just going to give it the bondage treatment. I think I tried this before, but I'm going to do it again. I want to put like a piece of 3/8 fuel hose on this and just run it down about that far, just because this thing cuts into your hand, so I'd really like to have something on there just as a bit of a damper and just to, you know, up the girth a little bit. And lastly, I still got to do something about this trailer hitch, because when I fabricated this out of a trailer jack, I did not take into account, you know, the trailer lip right here, smacking the top of the trailer ball. So I just need to pull this sucker off of here and just squish another 2 to 3 inches and drill another hole and move this back. And that'll actually work out great, because I'll now have a 1-inch hole right here, or whatever the hell size this is. And I can actually hook a chain into that. So I'll have a little chain hook there. So that'll actually work out perfectly. So that's the plan, is pretty much I'm just going to hammer that out and wrap this up, and then we can move on to stress testing this pig. But first, I found this petrified piece of whatever size this is, 1/2-inch heater hose or something, and I'm just going to squirt a little goo on it and just slide her on there, and that should work, or it's chilly out, so it might just rip. We'll find out. Well, found a piece of airline instead and managed to get that on there, but boy, was it a struggle. And I remember why I didn't do this before. It's because this guy wouldn't clear the top of the hose, so I just bent it, so now it just clears the metal. So anyway, that's done. Noticing that this tailgate is just a little bit longer and it's still kissing right here, so I might actually inlet the center of this, just because I've got it routed over here. I might just route the outside of this maybe. Still got a little bit of paint left, don't know, but that would give me about another 1/4 inch of clearance, and so I won't, because I'm kissing right there. I guess that won't really matter once I move this back, but I think I may have to squish this a little bit more and then clamp that in the vise and then bend this right here down about 45 degrees just to guarantee that this all clears. Just because this is hitting right here, and I would like to be able to hook a chain up to here and not have this hit the chain if I dump this. I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm not going to be dumping this bed when I got a trailer hooked up to it. I guess I do if I have to get into the engine bay and that kind of shit, but I digress. So I'm probably going to bend the latter part of this down about 45 degrees maybe. It'll just make it easier to get chains on and off and everything, and help keep them from falling off if I don't have safety hooks on them. But anyway, I digress. So I'll futz with that tomorrow. All right, so some winter hailstorm is supposed to blow through here tomorrow night through Sunday, and I gotta spend all day tomorrow trying to run down a flamingo. So I'm gonna see if I can get this damn seat wrapped up in the old bondage suit tonight. And I've just got some more foam. I think I'm just gonna cut about a foot square section of that and just jam it under the seat, you know, just for good luck. And then we're just gonna wrap her up as far as that roll of tape will take us. We're gonna get something done with this tonight because this thing is going to be soaked to the bone. It's supposed to be 4 inches of rain and like 50-mile-an-hour gusts for like 12 hours. So yeah, I'm not going to be working on this shit for like a week after that. So we gotta get this done tonight. So I'm gonna bang this out and get hammered on fucking eggnog and then get up in the morning and go chase a flamingo. All right, well, there's a slick new black bondage suit and it holds up a butt. So I think that passes the test as a seat. You know, that's all it's got to do. Anyway, so that is done. We're gonna work on this sucker. So yeah, hopefully it just comes out right off, and then hopefully I can just bash it flat on that stump over there and drill in a hole and be done with this shit. Well, it ain't the prettiest thing I ever done, but with any luck, it should at least clear the tailgate. So here's hoping. Hey, that's success. You clipping anything? Oh, damn. It's perfect. I barely even measured it, too. So good. That's everything off the short list now. So now we just have to wait for this hailstorm to blow through and for the fucking fingernail I damn near ripped off my hand to reaffix itself, at least partially. I'll super glue it. And we can use this sucker to go pick up all the fucking trees that are probably going to fall down. Because why would I get to do anything fun on my day off? Good God, look at that fucking tide. Holy shit, that's worse than a hurricane. All right, I've cleared out all the shrubbery around it, other than not sparkleberry, just because I like it. And we've got the crusty old husky out here and the gator. And we'll just see what we can do about this sucker. And how much wood we can actually haul. Also, we got oyster mushrooms, I think, coming out of here. Look at that. Wow. Pretty sure that's oyster. Neat. So I might just leave that nub. But we'll work on that. And we'll work on that stump up there at the front, that stump over there. And see what we can do about opening up this holler down here. Because I should at least be able to get the top half of this log. Yeah, oh wow, look at all that mushroom. So at the very least, I should be able to get the top half of this. And we'll see how far we can get. But probably not going to get very far because this is a big boy. You know, that's about 6-7 foot diameter, circumference, I mean. So, yeah. Okay, well, after a couple of exploratory cuts, I think I'm about as far as the crusty old husky will take me. So, cut that knot off. The tree is, in fact, holler. Look at that. And that's a lot of fungus growing in there. But surprisingly, it is not soft at all, except for the soft parts. Heartwood is still absolutely still 100-something-year-old laurel oak. I can't even get this butt off. I'm gonna have to come over here with a split maul and a sledge and see if I can bust that off. Get that knot off. And some hard wood. Some hard fucking wood. And that chainsaw ain't liking it. Got that little nub off. And this guy is real close to going, but I think it just weighs 500 pounds. So again, split maul. So I think this stump is going to be an old come up here with a 1/2-inch drill bit and just pour some diesel in there and pour some diesel down that gullet hole over there. You know, just a nice gallon of diesel in there should do something. And just let her go. Because, yeah, I got to go buy like a 36-inch bar chainsaw to be able to do anything with this. And at that point, I got to buy chaps and I got to learn what the hell I'm doing. Because I'll probably kill myself with that much horsepower on a chainsaw. That one is just weak enough that I can't really get myself into trouble other than getting it stuck in a tree. And then having to use 2 chainsaws and a tractor to try and get it back out. But I digress. So I guess we'll load these stumps up in the back of the Gator and go split those for the firewood pile or huck them in the river. And this is as close to a stress test as we're going to get, I guess. Hailstorm didn't knock down anything. So, all right, so I got as much punky rotten wood in here as I can unsafely stack, which is about 2/3, 3/4 of everything I managed to get cut off of here. I managed to break the other end off. Had to split everything up so I didn't blow my back out. Still probably blew it out, but I digress. Only about maybe 1/4 of it was worth anything as firewood, and I already have half a cord sitting there that I don't use. So we're gonna dump this shit in the marsh, and we'll see whether or not she'll haul it or if she'll blow the other rear tire. We'll see. She doesn't have a rear suspension other than the tires, so never know. Well, so far so good. Well, we made it to the river. And I think all the wood's still there. Anyway, gonna huck this stuff in the old living shoreline revetment, I guess. I don't know what the technical term for this shit is. Pile of logs on the side of the river. Keeps water out. And she's empty. Time to go grab the other load. All right, gear grinding time. Hey, just barely didn't grind them. And the last log. Whoop. All right, just one last thing on the short list. I want to see, does the trailer ball in this thing actually work? Because I haven't hooked up to any trailers yet. I believe one or both of those boat trailers are 1 7/8, but I don't feel like moving them because I ain't moved them in a year. I'll get to that fucking video eventually. Get off my back, me. However, we do have this little trailer, which I used to haul trash to the dump before we moved out here and I had access to the truck, 24/7. So, see if that guy will hook up. She weighs a hell of a lot more than she used to because I replaced the entire perimeter with 2x4s. But I'll give it a shot. And would you look at that? It'll actually hook up a trailer. I was really afraid that the trailer hitch latch was going to hit the top of the tailgate, but it looks like we actually have plenty of room. The only trouble is you have to kind of walk it in and then drop it over. You can't back it straight in because it'll hit it, but I guess you go too far in, it'll bend over and pop back up, and then you can, anyway. Works fine enough. These pitiful little safety chains on here, which I don't think would do fuck all, seem to work on there. Kind of want to bend that second hole down just a little bit, but I don't care. That tire's flat, so we're gonna haul this up to the shop, put some air in it, and just see whether or not it rips trailer hitch off. And as is tradition, the little tire is off the bead, so great. Now I remember why I never used this fucking thing. After a brief intermission, we have a healthy 35 PSI in both tires, and we're on beer too. And I think I'm just gonna haul this sucker up to the end of the road and back and just see if anything breaks. I'm hoping the trailer breaks and not the Gator. But we shall see. You know what? She pulls this trailer really well. Like, perfectly. Like, it's about the perfect weight for it. It counteracts the bad shocks and all that. So, that's great. So, if I ever need to haul some bullshit around, I got this sucker now. Back to the pit you go. All right, it's stump burning time. Brought the Gator over here, hauled over some logs and other stuff, cleaned all the crap off the top, drilled a bunch of 1-inch holes up on top and all the way around the tree. And I filled all of those with horrid, nasty dump gas that I'm not even certain is flammable. All the way around the tree, probably about 2 gallons of that stuff. And then I came over here and I made a little fire. So this is going to be the actual fire that's hopefully going to start everything. It's pretty windy today, and it rained 7 inches over the last 2 weeks, which is wild. So the thing may not burn at all, but we're going to give it a shot. Poured about a gallon of diesel right there. I got a little line running up here, and I'm just going to light this and then back the hell up before I lose my eyebrows. And I got a shovel there so we can put out a brush fire if we get one. And hopefully it actually lights. All right, once more, now with patented moss. Got a pizza box full of diesel in there, so that should act like a wick or a candle at least to keep it going. I have a strong feeling that that dump gas ain't flammable, but we'll find out the hard way. There it goes. We have dump gas. Well, been about 2 hours now and ain't made much progress at all. This log is just soaked to the bone, and it's probably going to take 3 or 4 times as much wood as I've got to finally get this thing to the point where it'll at least burn through. Lord. Well, we're on the other side of the tree now, and I've gone through about close to half my wood pile, and we ain't made any progress. But the underside is nice and burnt now. It's just not any smaller. So I don't really know what we accomplished. Maybe it can totally moot point, but it 'tis the season when I want to set something on fire, so it accomplishes that if nothing else. So I think at this point, I'm just going to go grab another beer out the beer fridge and let this sucker go overnight, and we'll see whether or not it's done anything by the morning. It's getting good and hot under there, but it's I don't think it's burning the log, so we might have to drop back 20 and punt tomorrow, and might just want to take a wedge out of the top and then set a pyre on top of it and try and burn down through the log, rather than from bottom up, because does not appear to be getting enough oxygen. Had a great wind when I started, and it disappeared, 10-15 minutes after the fire got started, of course, as it always does. So it's always blowing when you're trying to get the fire started, and when the fire gets going, it stops blowing. So anyway, I digress. We're going to let her sit overnight and see if we make any progress, but probably a fool's errand. All right, it's the next day, and she's actually still burning really well. It actually somehow made its way into the heart of the tree, I think. Because there's smoke coming out the top up here. And yeah, as soon as it can get into the heart of this thing, she's going to go up like a chimney. But it's been burning clear through the night. So that's great. I think that might just be steam up in there drying everything out, but she's still going. In an hour, she's still going. Trying to see if I can slowly get the fire to spread all the way back down in here and get that guy to touch off. As soon as I can burn a hole through the center of this log to get into that cavity, which is already smoldering and wants to go, but it just doesn't have the airflow, then I think this sucker will go, and that's at least that much of the log I should be able to get. So we'll see. Probably gonna take a week. I don't know about y'all, but I think my frame bent. She seems a little scrunchier than I remember. I think she did. Oh yeah. Yep. Fuck. Well, hell. I guess I'll just ignore that for the time being. Yep, she's bent. Oh God, yeah. Fuck. Holy shit. Always something. Well, there goes me ending this series on a high note. Looks like we're gonna have to put her up on a ramp, bend her, and bolt some fucking railing to her, I guess. Well, in good news, it appears that the inside of the tree is now on fire. That hole right there is deceptively high up. It's like at least this high up the tree, so I think it's connected. That, and I've got the old auger bit out and augered all the mushroom chunks and dirt out the center of that thing. So there's a nice big funnel over there now, gushing air up into it, and I can see down into there now, and it's all black in there, so fingers crossed. Oh yeah, she's up inside of there now.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what we want to see. Easy mode now. All we got to do is just make sure it don't rain. Well, that's a first. I fucking burnt my damn eyelashes off. Awesome. I don't think she's supposed to be doing this. Yeah. Shit. Great! I get to do another episode on this fucking thing. Awesome. Anyway, that's the end of this video. I'm going to be spending the next one trying to fucking piece this frame back together. Because I can't use it at the time being. Because one, it tries to break my knees when I drive it. And two, the throttle cable is attached to, you know, that plate up here at the front. Right there. So as I drive, as it flexes, it pulls on the throttle cable. Also, the differential is interacting with the shifter now for some reason. So if I put the differential on, I can't even put the differential on, and the shifter interacts with it. So that's interesting. Something shit's fucked is what I'm trying to say. And I ain't fixing it this episode. So you're gonna have to tune in for hopefully the finale, because that's I'm either gonna have it all squared away and fixed and hunky-dory, or it's gonna be in the river where it belongs. So. But yeah, if you like this series, consider giving the video a like, comment, give me your harebrained idea for how I can fix the frame on this thing. My current plan is to get a cable tensioner and try and run a cable crossways from the trailer hitch to the front up here, and just put a barbed wire cable tensioner on there, and just try and pull the frame back like that, and see if that'll buy me enough time to find the steel necessary, or potentially the aluminum. If I could get another one of those bridge markers, that would be great. That's 8" by 4" by 1/8" aluminum. That would be perfect. I could just bend the front up, kind of like give the front one of those, slap her right up under there, run her back there, and if I just, you know, mount the thing up on a jack stand right about there and get the front end up and way down the back, I could bend the front where I need it to, put that plate in there, put some grade 8 bolts all the way around, and set her back down, and she should settle back to where I want her. And we'll have that cable tensioner under there just for good luck. Don't know how long that'll last, but kind of one and done. I don't really want to undo one of those when I do it. But anyway, I digress. So like the video, comment, give me some suggestions on how to fix this frame. And if you want to see the finale, hopefully, in this series, you got to subscribe. So smash the big area button over there. Till next time, I'm out.